Well, there's important things to do sometimes camping. There's aspects of camping that are quite enjoyable. And when you're coming out here and you're, making your camp, doing your woodcraft and stuff, one of the things that you're going to encounter a lot is making stakes, either to anchor things in a tree or hold something from falling over, or to keep your tarp or tent anchored to the ground. There's a couple different ones that I'm going to show you. And I wanted to use this piece of maple here. And this is pretty indicative of where I'm at. Maple. A lot of maple. So it's one of the woods I want to get real used to using. So right here is probably a good one method for making a tent peg, and it was showed to me by a friend of mine. And it's actually quite easy. Here, let's get some of this out of the way. All right, I'm going to work with a little bit of a smaller branch here. So this method here is quite quick to do, and man, it'll anchor about anything down. The philosophy behind it is you could put your loop from your tarp here, and when this gets pounded in, this holds it from moving up. So it can eliminate doing some other things if you need to do a notch or wrap cordage around. And then there's just the straight up, tent peg that we all like to make. And that's just doing it in this fashion right here. Make our stop cut for our cordage there. It looks about right. Usually any type of notching and stuff, you want to take it to almost where the pith would be, the center. And then I just chamfer around the top, so over the course of your stay or for whatever application that you're using it, that it stays, it doesn't split or mushroom over as easy when you're pounding it. I always make the point of the tent peg last, and for obvious reasons, is so I'm not manipulating this wood around with a point here the whole time. Now, of course, these don't have to be that pretty at all. Many times you can just, grab something right off the ground and, just press it down into the soil if you're looking for something quick. But if you're, involved in the craft of all of this, because that's what this is all about, right? This is all about that. The craft of being out there doing stuff and enjoying it. So maybe something like that. Usually you don't need to get sharp, because the first tree root or small pebble you hit in there is going to defeat that purpose. But you're pushing it into the soil anyway, so it's not. We don't need to spear it. So this is the other kind here. Now, like I said, this here was taught to me by a friend, And it's a fantastic method for making quick tent pegs that can, that can anchor your tarp down. And at the time we were using oilskin tarps, and we were doing the tarp tent. And so it requires some good staking, because you put a lot of tension on that tarp in that certain configuration to get this nice tight, A-frame, if you will. And so this, the dogs are on the run. So this peg here worked real nice. And with the tarp tent configuration, the loop for your tarps tends to be deeper than this, and so that's not a good peg to use for that. But this here, oh man, you could just anchor this right into the ground. So there's just a couple styles of pegs, and of course, you can use whatever size that you need. These can be thinner, they can be longer. I've anchored semi-permanent shelters and stuff with large tent pegs, especially if you're in thigh-deep snowpack out there, but you still want to anchor something in, and you drive things home with some long tent pegs. And this could be used for that as well.